Hello everybody and welcome to That's Football. I'm Mark Goldbridge and have we got two crackers for you tonight. The two best teams in Europe, in my opinion. Bayern Munich at PSG, but also Real Madrid at Liverpool. Champers, it's going to be crackers tonight. We can't wait. I hope you can't wait as well. Very, very excited about these games tonight. So thank you everybody for tuning in. What are your thoughts? We will obviously go through the team news in a minute, but two massive games tonight. And who you got? Who you got? I'm going to go, I want to know your doubles here. I'm going to go Liverpool win, Bayern win. I'm a bloody idiot, and this is why Robbie beats me consistently at win, lose or draw, but I'm a romantic. There's nothing romantic about Liverpool winning. I'm going for the two underdogs, really. I think PSG are massive favourites against Bayern. And I think Real Madrid have to be favourites against Real Madrid as well. But players are coming out onto the pitch. We love the Champions League on this channel. We've been doing it for so many years. I mean, I remember doing a Champions League live watch-along round my sister's house when she used to live in the country. Not England, but like countryside. And I needed the toilet desperately. And it was Liverpool, Real Madrid. And I went to the toilet and Real Madrid scored. It was when Bale was playing, whatever year that was. So, yes, excited about this. Lots and lots of football going on tonight as well. We'll keep you up to date with those. Napoli drew 0-0 with Frankfurt, which I thought was going to be a good game. Arsenal beat Slavia Prague 3-0 earlier as well. Saka and got a penalty. Moreno scored 2. Gyökeres and Saliba, I think, are out injured for them at the moment. Spurs are playing Copenhagen at home tonight as well. They are the other two English clubs playing. But the big games are Liverpool, Real Madrid and PSG against Bayern. We'll start off with Liverpool. Mamardashvili, Bradley, Kanate, Van Dijk, Robertson again. I told you about Robertson. He has to play. Szoboszlai, Gravenberch, McAllister, best midfield three. Salah, Ekitike, and Wirtz. Gakpo goes down to the bench, which is a little bit surprising, actually. Real Madrid, Courtois, Valverde, Militao, Huijsen, Carreras, Alvaro, Fernandez, as Man United fans might call him. Tchouaméni, Camavinga, Goller, Vinicius Jr., Bellingham, Mbappe. I mean, that is a hipster's front five if ever I've seen it. Camavinga and Goller. Many a hipster knows who they are. And then Vinicius Jr., Bellingham and Mbappe. That is pretty tight front five when it comes to quality. As Seb would say, they've got the Riz. I don't know what that is. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing or whether it's, he says it means they're good. So that's good. PSG, Chevalier, Hakimi, Marquinhos, Pacho, Nuno Mendes, Ruiz, Vitina and Zaire-Emery. And then Kvaratskhelia, Dembele and Barcola. João Neves on the bench. Don't know what that's all about. Don't follow PSG enough to know. Bayern Munich, Neuer, Stanisic, Tar, Meccano, Lema, Kimmich, Pavlovic, Gnabry, Elise, Diaz, Kane. That's their best front four. I think the only bad thing about tonight is having to do that and that. Having Liverpool and Real Madrid there and PSG and Bayern there and trying to figure out a way to watch both is very, very difficult. But that is why I've got you lot as well. Are you going to get Gareth Southgate's book for Christmas? Yes, I will, Greg. And you know what I'll do? I'll eat loads and loads of food all day. And then on Christmas Day night, I'll need a big shit. And then I'll take pages from the book and I'll wipe my arse with it. And it will take ages because it's not absorbable like the normal Andrex I use. And I'll just keep wiping away page after page, flushing it down the toilet, because that's all it will be good for. But, you know, hopefully it will do well. Yes. Neves has been on the bench for a while. We could get him if he's unsettled, says Emmanuel. Thank you very much for that. Yep. Thank you very much. Please do share the video and get involved. I think we're going to get a lot of people tuning in tonight. And you are very, very, very welcome. I mean, I'm going to be honest here. That's Football is the home of Bundesliga this season. I know a lot more about German football than I probably ever had. And I know how good Bayern Munich are this season. We also all were initiated into the brilliance of PSG last season. And we all saw them go to Barcelona a few weeks ago and absolutely school them. So I think Bayern PSG is symbolic in its own way. And whilst Liverpool, Real Madrid at Anfield is massive and up and running, PSG against Bayern, I think, other than Arsenal, these are the two best teams in European football at the moment. And they both play football in the right way. So I'd love to just sit and watch that. But we've got two great games tonight. Anyway, Liverpool, Madrid. Honest thoughts. Look, Liverpool did very, very well against Aston Villa at the weekend, but it wasn't the old Liverpool, and it wasn't enough. I think you could say Liverpool are back, and they've got Real Madrid tonight, and then they've got Man City. So if I was Man City, I'd be a little bit worried about this game, because if Liverpool do anything half decent, their confidence is going to go through the roof. Yeah. I have a timer for Liverpool Real Madrid because I'm sure some of you are behind. I'm sure some of you are ahead, but it's on Amazon Prime. So in the UK, we have to watch it on Amazon Prime. I'm never a big fan of streaming services because the time differences are always different. So yeah, but Liverpool have started off very well here. It's got to be worth a shot there. Oh no, he passed it into Ekatike, who tried to flick in Wirtz. Real's attack or Bayern's mark? I'd just go for Real, says Evan Whelan. I think Bayern Munich's attack is more balanced. I think Elise, Diaz, Kane and Gnabry is more balanced than Bellingham, Vinicius Jr., Mbappe and Gallet. I don't think Bellingham's a right winger. So, you know, I'd say Bayern Munich's, to be honest with you. But I've got to say Real Madrid, Alonso, first season's doing fantastically well. And you can't ever write Real Madrid off when it comes to Champions Leagues. I do find it strange that he doesn't use Rodrigo, though. Because I think Rodrigo's a fantastic player, and I think he made a mistake in staying. But Trent's on the bench for Real Madrid. Asensio's on the bench. Ceballos, two Garcias, Gonçalves, Lunin, Mendy, Endrick, Rodrigo. Liverpool's bench tonight: Chiesa, Endo, Gakpo, Gomez, Jones, Kirkez, Monsieur, Rio and Woodman. Isak still not back. Thanks for your early super chats. Exo Elevate says, I was a passenger in the middle car of a 3-car pile-up today. Pretty shook, but mostly okay. Ever happened to you? If so, any advice? Mate, I think those sort of things do make you think very different about car travel. And I'm very, very glad to hear from you tonight. And I'm very, very glad that apart from shock, you're okay. Because I think when you've been in a car that's lost control or hit something, it makes you realise just how volatile a car can be. And the weather's been shit in the UK today as well. Like the town I live in has been basically gridlocked for the last 2 hours because of a couple of crashes. So I'm glad to hear that you're doing well. I've lost control of a car twice. Once on ice and once on a motorway when it was chucking it down with rain and it aquaplaned across 2 lanes. But fortunately, it was about 5:30 in the morning and it was on the M6 toll. So there was hardly anybody on the road. But I literally just went across 2 lanes. It was like a hover car. It just went. It was weird. The other time I was just driving on Christmas Eve into Harborne in Birmingham, and I went around this corner. It just hit a bit of ice and went completely the other way. But fortunately, I'd had a bit of training, and I went with the skid and then pulled it back, and there was a car coming the other way, and I got it back in time, and I went, I don't know what everyone was worried about. I didn't say that. I went, fucking hell. Bayern are 1-0 up already, and it's Diaz. 1-0 Bayern. And I've got to say I'm very proud. I'm very, very proud because we are covering the Bundesliga here. And although people say, oh, Bayern Munich are just going to win the league, I have said there's something very different about this Bayern Munich side this season. Yes, they probably will win the Bundesliga, but I think they are also a very, very big shout for the Champions League as well. PSG playing out from the back, but look how quick they are here. It's into Gnabry, it's a little flick into Elise, and he goes for the shot. It drops back to Diaz, and he finds the bottom corner. That's Bayern Munich. They're just so dangerous this season. They are so dangerous. 1-0. Bayern Munich. And that's going to open that game up very much. Because we know how good PSG are. Real Madrid on the attack. Terrible cross, but a bad bit of control there. Bellingham gets tackled. Schvet says the PSG goalie is trash. And also, Reggie makes a good point. Musiala and Alphonso Davies still missing for Bayern Munich as well. Yeah. I mean, that's going to be the I don't know whether it's a problem for Bayern Munich because they actually do have a very big squad. But obviously, beyond Kane, Diaz, Gnabry and Elise, there is, you know, that if they lose one of those players for a key period of time, it would be problematic. But it'd be very problematic for Man City if they were to lose Haaland, of course. I mean, the bench for Bayern Munich, well, they have got Nicholas Jackson. Carl is a good young player coming through. They've still got Goretzka on the bench. They've got some young players coming through. Bischoff's very good as well. But yeah, they do still have Musiala and Alphonso Davies to come back later in the season with regards to Musiala, certainly. Elise versus Kvaratskhelia, says Vishesh. Can we have an either or? Good one. I like it. Oh, it's such a perfect day. I'm glad I spent it with you. I don't know why I did that. What do you see? Thank you very much, Fishesh, for your super chat. Do you think Company will replace Pep, says Jack? I'd never really thought about it until somebody said it at the weekend, but it probably does make a lot of sense. Have you changed your mind on Company as a manager, says Makel? Not really. I think if Erik ten Hag was in charge of Bayern Munich, he'd do very, very well. I think Vincent Kompany at Burnley was very stuck in his ways and couldn't do it. But you give him a Bayern Munich side, he does very, very well. So he's clearly a good manager, but I think he's also one of those managers that it's all about him, isn't it? In the way he wants to play. He refused to adapt, did he, to try and keep Burnley in the league. Will Liverpool ever forgive Trent, says Andrew. There are Liverpool fans out there that don't mind Trent, and there are Liverpool fans out there that basically say, up yours, we'll do what we want, and we don't like Trent. I don't know what Liverpool fans think now, whether time's been a bit of a healer. I think the big problem with Trent is that when you listen to him doing his Spanish accent, there's no way he picked that up in a couple of months. Reasonable start by Liverpool, though. Certainly not. And you look at some of the players that they've got. Captain Monopoly says no Bayern versus PSG watch-along. Mate, I can't keep repeating this stuff. I've been talking about PSG against Bayern for weeks. It's on that telly, and that's Liverpool Real Madrid. Arsenal do play Bayern straight after the international break. I'm very excited about that, Matt. Whatever happens tonight in PSG Bayern at the Emirates straight after the international break is going to be very, very interesting for multiple reasons, because I still think whatever happens tonight, Bayern Munich will be considered one of the best teams in Europe and therefore the world. And up against Arsenal, it'll be very interesting to see how Arsenal can do. A team like Juve could have done with Ten Hag, says Dead Zone. I can't believe Ten Hag would take that Wolves job. That will not go well. The British press didn't like him at Man United. They'll ridicule him at Wolves. He's just... I don't think he's the sort of guy that's going to do well at Wolves. Ooh, chance there, McAllister. Edge of the box, over the bar. He's no Larson. If you know, you know. Seb Larsson, a legend, and he doesn't even know it. Yeah, PSG are struggling a little bit here. Bayern looking quite comfortable. Neuer just blasts that long. Thanks very much for your super chats. I'm going to come back to that poll in a moment. Yeah, Frankfurt-Napoli was a bit of a surprise. Let's have a look at that. 0-0. 4 shots on top. I mean, bloody Frankfurt getting a 0-0 was great in itself. His name's not Seb Larsson, by the way. It's Hugo. I knew I'd got that wrong. Liverpool on the attack again. And so are PSG. Kvaratskhelia in down the left-hand side. Needs some support. I do like Kvaratskhelia. I mean, like, there's not a lot not to like about that PSG side, really, is there? Hakimi miscontrols it, goes out for a throw-in. Will is at the Blues tonight. Blues are playing tonight. Birmingham City are playing tonight. There must be some championship games going on. Nearly 10,000 of you watching. Big night on the Champions League in That's Football. Elise has 59% of the vote in our first either or, Kvaratskhelia or Elise. I would agree on that one, by the way. Well done. Alvaro Fernandez Carreras has cooked Salah so far, says Zana. Nvim VD says, is it weird in the UK to speak a second language? It depends what you mean by weird. I don't think many people do speak 2 languages in the UK, but I mean, it's a long time ago since I was in the police, but there were areas of Birmingham, certainly, where people didn't speak English. Like, I can't remember the area. I can't remember, was it Spark Hill or Spark Brook? Had a very big Somalian community. And obviously they spoke Somalian. And most times we had to go and speak with them. You'd have to use interpreters and stuff. But that's probably 20 years ago now. So no, I don't think there's many people who speak 2 languages in the UK. Whereas I think in the rest of Europe, a lot of people do understand English as a second language. I would love to be able to speak another language. I think I don't know whether it's a definition of intelligence, but I would love to. Lovely cross goes for a corner. PSG on the attack. The real Ghost says, I meant, why is it such a big deal that Trent can speak Spanish? Because there's no way Trent Alexander-Arnold learned bloody Spanish at bloody secondary school. He learnt it to go to fucking Real Madrid. And he was bloody good at it when he did that interview. And I think that's what Liverpool fans are pissed off about, is the fact that he clearly knew he was always going to Real Madrid. but made out that it was a difficult decision and he hadn't made his mind up. And we all knew he was going to Real Madrid. And I think Liverpool fans just felt a bit pissed off that he clearly was always going to run the contract down. Hazard says, cool, thank you very much. Very equal game, Liverpool against Real Madrid here so far. United needs to get Lee from PSG. He's the best passer ever, says Zuta. Just having a quick look at what is going on in the other games. Real Madrid on the attack. Mbappe. I mean, if you're Liverpool, you'd be happy with this first 15 minutes. You know, you're up against some of the best players in the world. Mbappe, Vinicius Jr., Bellingham. And they've looked relatively comfortable so far. Stoke are beating Oxford 1-0. Watford and Ipswich are 1-1. Derby are beating Hull 1-0. And Birmingham are 1-0 up against Millwall. There we go. Arsenal won 3-0 earlier against Slavia Prague. And we do have a goal in the Champions League as well. Obviously, Bayern Munich are beating PSG 1-0 in Paris. But Sporting are beating Juventus 1-0 in Turin. So we've had a couple of goals in the Champions League. Liverpool on the break here, and it's a good break with Ekitike. He's going to have to move quicker here. Holds it up. He's got to look at Szoboszlai. He's going to go for it himself, and I don't think he should have done. I think he should have gone to Szoboszlai there. A little bit of a lack of experience. Olympiacos are about to score against PSV. I don't know who, but I'm just telling you it's going to happen. In North Wales, loads of us do. Says A-Tree. Yeah, I think in Wales and certainly Southern Ireland, a lot of people can speak Irish as well as English. And Wales, they can speak Welsh. Who scored for Bayern? Says Atif. Diaz. Luis Diaz. Yeah, I actually put a story on my Instagram at Goldbridge Mark today with the Lou Reed Perfect Day song for Beckham getting the knighthood. Mainly because of the line, you're gonna reap just what you sow. And I think, you know, I'll always celebrate people getting something they deserve. And he deserves that knighthood. He should have got it years ago. Some people, oh, bad pass back there. Bayern are on the attack. Have a shot, mate. It's gone in. Oh, Pavlovic. It deflected. He hit it from distance. It deflected. And I thought it was in. Keeper would have been not saving this. It's a good shot. And it's quite wide, actually, in the end. A true gent says, Mbappe there aiming to shoot at God. Who do you think's some of the worst knighthoods given out? There's probably a website for it. Do you think you should get one, Mark? Well, no. I've just typed in people who didn't deserve to be, and it's auto filled in cancelled. That would be an interesting conversation. People who didn't deserve to be knighted. Gareth Southgate for me. David Bowie refused one, saying he didn't know what one was and it wasn't what he worked for. Just reading here, people who didn't deserve it. Jimmy Savile, don't need to expand on that. Tony Blair led us into an illegal war. This is somebody else's comments, not mine. Mo Farah, controversial, but he did collaborate on a biography. I don't know what that's all about. I always like Mo Farah. Tony Robinson, unfunny lefty hypocrite who accepted his gong from a Tory MP. I always love Reddits. Chris Whitty spent 2 years spouting lies and half-truths about COVID to try to frighten us to keep us locked down. Captain Tom Moore, sorry, all he did was walk 100 laps of his garden for charity. Egged on by his fame-hungry daughter who pushed him into a book. God. Oh, tell you what, I spend a lot of time reading those sort of things at night just to humour me. Olympiacos scored. I told you about that. So we've had 20 minutes here. Liverpool, Real Madrid, deadlock. They're very probing equally at the moment. Bayern Munich just look very, very good. PSG trying to get back into it, but they do look very good. Here's Gnabry. Oh, nearly slipped in Kane there. I told you Bayern are very good at the moment. Arguably the best team in Europe. And I think if they go to PSG and win, that'd be a major statement. Talking about knighthoods, I remember we'll be doing our all-day charity stream. I think it's 6 years in a row now. A week on Saturday, middle Saturday of the international break in November every year. All-day charity stream. Got some really good stuff this year. It's long overdue. Normally it's just me sat talking about all sorts and, you know, doing FIFA drafts and Fall Guys. This year we've actually got some other things involved. So we'll be doing a Nigel Benn against Eubank fight. It's not Nigel Benn, is it? He's retired. It's Ben Eubank. We'll be doing that on the night as a watch-along. It was a brilliant fight, the first one. And we will do a bit of Fall Guys as well, yeah. A slot parking the bus, Sam. Lovely play by Elise. Good recovery tackle. It's a really good game, PSG Bayern. Thanks for your super chats. You can do that through the $sign. We'll read those out. And Kvaratskhelia goes wide. Put the cross in then. Little cross to the back post. It's there to be hit. And it's 1-1. No, it's 1-1. It's been given. 1-1. PSG. This game's going to deliver, isn't it? This game is going to deliver. Dembele with a tap-in. I think they're going to review for offside. Yeah, he's going to be offside, isn't he? Unless they got the angle of that wrong. I think he might be offside. He was offside, but then I think it's up Meccano, goes deep. Oh, I think he's onside from there. That just shows, you know, that's really good from the camera guy there, because that just shows you how we think it's off, but actually it's deceptive. He looks miles off from one angle, but from the other angle, he looks on. So we'll have to wait and see on this. He did look miles off, but you know that second camera angle, he looked on. Zuta says, you sack, your United stand host for your relative. Messed up. Good one, mate. Offside. He was offside. Why haven't they changed the score? I think it's offside. There's a substitute going to happen here as well. No goal, offside. It's a shame. They'll show it as in a minute, I'm sure. I think Bayern Munich are about to make a sub here as well. Oh, is it? Oh, no. Apparently it might be PSG. Yeah, someone just said it might be Dembele. Yeah, he's definitely hopping around, Dembele. It's a shame because he's had such a good season last year, but I remember when we were looking at him, when you look at his injury history, he has got breadstick hamstrings. Gnabry's in now. Keeper, a bit foolish, and he's put it over the bar. I don't know why I didn't try and lob him there. He was offside anyway. Who has more chance of winning the Champions League, Bayern or Arsenal, says Sanchez. Holding on a minute. Vinicius Junior's on the attack. Nice little overlap into Carreras. Penalty. Not given. No real appeal from Real Madrid, so I'd say it probably wasn't. Yeah, Dembele's gone. Off he goes, straight down the tunnel. Yeah, Ryan Giggs used to have massive problems with his hamstrings, and he basically started doing yoga and had to change the way that he ran. And I think I'm right in saying that he could never sprint full pelt again. I think from the age of about 27, he had to run differently and basically could only ever run at like 80%. He could never go flat out again. I'm sure I read that. Who's got more chance of winning the Champions League, Bayern or Arsenal? Let me run a poll on that one. We'll come back to that. Good question. Here it is. Carreras. Probably would have been a bit soft to give a penalty for that. Get your votes in. Good cross. Oh, big save from Courtois. Szoboszlai. That should have been 1-0. Big save. Golden opportunity. Chance of the game, really. And it fell to Liverpool. That's why he's the best goalkeeper in the world. They got a bit lucky down the right-hand side. Wirtz. Yeah, I mean, Wirtz has put that on a plate. He's put that on a plate for Szoboszlai. And I tell you what, I think he saves it with his foot. Look at that for goalkeeping in a one-on-one situation. Look at that. That is a wonderful save by Courtois. That is a wonderful save because he makes himself so big and it's the foot that saves it. That really could and maybe should have been 1-0 to Liverpool. And we've just seen a worldie by the world's best keeper. Marcelo says, what were Liverpool thinking selling Diaz? To be honest with you, mate, I respect it. Diaz wanted to go. You know, if you're Liverpool, you've just won the league. Are you going to force somebody that wants to go? He wanted to go. You've got to move him on. LFP says Raya is the best in the world. Shut up. You're talking out your arse now. Arsenal have got a very good defence, but Raya is not the best goalkeeper in the world. He's not even the best goalkeeper in the league. Alisson's still the best in my opinion. Then it's Le Mans. Then it's Pickford. Then it's Donnarumma. Nah, man, I'm winding up. No, Alisson's the best in the league. Liverpool getting a bit closer here and the crowd are reacting to it. Ekitike. Into Salah. Lays it off. Szoboszlai. Handball. Given. Free kick on the edge. Handball on the edge. Chef says it should have been a penalty. Right on the edge of the box. Liverpool starting to move up. I mean, look, we spoke about Liverpool on Saturday nights against Villa. If they get their confidence back, they're going to be hard. I think that's a penalty. Is he in the box? Mate, that's a penalty. That's a penalty. He's in the box. It's a penalty, that. I don't think it is a penalty, but what I'm saying is if he's given it, it's got to be a penalty. In Europe, they have a different interpretation. The hand, it hits the hand in the box. Whether it's a penalty or not doesn't really matter. Great save by Neuer there. PSG in a one-on-one. These games are starting to light up. They'll give that. They'll give that. Tchouaméni. I don't think it should be a handball, that. It's a natural position. Gnabry! Goal! He's at the inside of the post! Gnabry's at the inside of the post. PSG have just had a one-on-one. And Bayern go up the other end and hit the inside of the post. This game is great. We're still waiting to see if it's a penalty in Liverpool. This Bayern PSG game is a thriller. I think they'll overturn this and say it's not a penalty. He's going to look on VAR. I don't think you can give a penalty for that. He's not even looking at it. 67% of you say Bayern have got more chance of winning the Champions League than Arsenal. I'm going to ask you, should that be a penalty? I mean, look, if you're a Liverpool fan, you're going to want it. If that's at White Hart Lane on Saturday, I want a penalty for Man United. But I think it's very harsh. And I don't think he'll give it. No penalty. Yeah. So what happens with the ball? Drop ball? Yeah, drop ball. No, it just goes to Courtois. Courtois first, Roberto Sanchez second, and Alisson third, says Kylie. Are you having a joke? Roberto Sanchez is suddenly the second best goalkeeper in the league? I do not think so. So Liverpool nearly getting a penalty. It's a shame though, because the stop in the game has probably changed the flow of the game, because Liverpool were very much on top there. But I think it's the right decision. I don't think it was a penalty. I've seen them given in Europe. I mean, famously, I remember United in the Europa League a few years ago, where Martinez blocked the shot like that, hit his leg, and went onto his arm, and they gave it. 2-0 to Bayern. I thought I was watching a replay. Idiots. I thought I was watching a replay. I never even realised. Let's watch it back. Oh, Marquinhos, too worried about Kane. What's Marquinhos doing there? That's a fuck up at the back, isn't it? I mean, great pressing by Diaz, but Marquinhos there, he goes in a 50-50 with Kane, and then he's looking at Kane, and he's not looking at the fact that he's being closed down by Diaz. Yeah, he goes in a 50-50, wins it with Kane, and then... Yeah, I don't know. It's bad defending. He takes 2 looks at Kane and doesn't see Diaz. Look. Yeah, he just... Juventus have just equalised against Sporting as well. So it's 2-0 here to PSG, to Bayern. I don't know what's going on with the telly here. That Gnabry shot against the post as well. They are on it. Pay attention, please, Nath Footy. Mate, I'm trying to watch 2 games and there was a penalty decision there. Sorry. And I was looking out the corner of my eye and I saw Diaz celebrating. I thought they were just filling time. That Gnabry shot, though, very unlucky. Hit both posts. Bayern officially the best team in Europe, says ISO Magic. Please do share the video, by the way. We've got nearly 15,000 watching. Big night here. Kvaratskhelia got down for PSG now. Dembele's already gone off. So they can't afford... He does look hurt as well. If he goes off... This was always something that people were talking about with PSG, though. Are they going to be capable of sustaining after such a long season last year? Chelsea have felt it as well. The 2 longest playing teams in the world, obviously going to the Club World Cup final. Both of them playing in European finals last year as well. Here's Conor Bradley coming down the right-hand side. Into Szoboszlai. He likes a shot. It's a good shot. Courtois won't be beaten from there. I think Kvaratskhelia is going to be okay. Please do subscribe to the channel, by the way. We're only 39 subscribers away from 435,000. So please do subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner. Thank you very much for getting involved. Has anybody seen the new John Lewis Christmas advert? I'm going to talk about that at half-time. YouTube's playing up tonight. I don't know what's going on here. Can't get back on my live chat. Piece of shit. I'll get back. Don't worry about that. You carry on. So we are about 10 minutes away from half time here. There you go. I'm back now. Bayern Munich and Arsenal with the perfect 4 at the moment as things stand. Should it have been a penalty? It's coming down a bit. It's closer than I thought. 46% say yes and 54% say no. Rudolph the Red says, can you please find my super chat about the Christmas jumpers, Mark? Did I miss it? I thought I'd caught up. Real Madrid into the box. Goulet, good tackle. He appealed a little bit for a penalty, but it did look like he got the ball. Rudolph the Red says, I have all the Christmas jumpers now. Just need the first one. Any chance you've got one lying around? What's the design on it, Rudolph? I know we had the class of 92 blue and white. Last year was black and white. And the red one, I think, was black and red, wasn't it? That could have been a penalty for Real Madrid. I mean, does he get any of the ball there? I'll ask around and see if they've got any for you, mate. I'll ask around. No Christmas-related conversation, please. Read the John Lewis advert, says Rabu96. And why is that? Are you going to wear your Dortmund cap tomorrow night, says Kylie? Yes. Nath says it's just banter. Thanks, pal. Thanks for your super chats tonight. Bayern Munich 2-0 up in Paris is very impressive. Very, very impressive. Dembele going off as well. I saw a shot of Enrique a minute ago and he did look a bit resigned. Look, losing a game... Lovely running down the flank by Upamecano. Losing a game to Bayern Munich is not going to ruin their season, but I think it's going to be very, very difficult for PSG to replicate what they did last year anyway. Now that it's been a season and a half, what's your thoughts on the new Champions League football format, says Mindcracker? What's everybody else's thoughts on it? I mean, look, I have a reputation for being a bit of a moaner, But people who watch my content know actually I can be very, very positive too. I'm at the front of the queue for a moan, but I will always be positive if there's a reason. For example, when people were Arteta out, I was Arteta in. So I can find that. But in me, I did not like the idea of changing the Champions League. It could be 3. Kimmich, he's got to square it. Oh, they nearly had 3. Bayern, they nearly had 3. This game is amazing. It's living up to all the hype. Unless you're a PSG fan, although they've been dangerous. Here's Kvaratskhelia trying to do something on his own into the box. Looks for a bit of contact. It wasn't there. And Tar puts him on the floor. And it injures him, actually. But yeah, no, I didn't like the idea of changing the... oh, Bellingham's just gone through the back of Wirtz there. It did look a bit of a bad tackle, but referee's not really that interested in it. Don't think it was a particularly bad tackle, to be fair. Yeah, anyway, I didn't like the idea of changing the Champions League format because I think sometimes in football they change things for the worse. I've got to say, when I'm wrong, I'll say I'm wrong. I think the new format's brilliant. I really do. My big concern about it was there wouldn't be any jeopardy because there's too many games. But the jeopardy has been managed by the teams taking it seriously. And I think it's a brilliant format. I think it's a brilliant format. And I think we get more games that are good. And I think that the jeopardy is that if you don't finish in the top 8, you get an extra 2 games and it makes it difficult. The only thing I think they should change is if you finish in the top 8, you should get a home game in the second leg all the way to the final. That's my thing. Courtois with another big save. 2 big saves tonight from Szoboszlai again. Liverpool have been good this half, you know. You've got to say Liverpool have been good. Szoboszlai, arguably Liverpool's best player this season. I mean, Courtois saved that with his wrist, so he was always saving it. But lesser goalkeepers wouldn't. Corner to Liverpool. 2 cracking games tonight. Yeah, I like the new Champions League format anyway. I think it works really, really well. I think there's so much money in it. The clubs value it. And it's important to be in the top 8. You think about Real Madrid and Man City. They didn't get into the top 8 last year and they didn't do particularly well. Although PSG didn't get in the top 8 and they won it. Thanks, Mindcracker. Rudolph says it's the very first one you made. Yeah, I think I know which one it is. This year's one's bloody lovely, by the way. Can't wait to be wearing that down the pubs and clubs. I thought I'd take it to Liverpool first. Just go clubbing in Liverpool wearing that. Yeah. Right, let me give you the latest in all the scores. Please do subscribe to the channel. Cracking night of football tonight. You're all very, very welcome on That's Football, no matter who you support. Bayern are on the attack again here. I don't know why Gnabry refused to pass that to the left, but he did. Oh, space again. There's so much space for Bayern here at the moment. So, Napoli and Arsenal's games are done. Atletico Madrid are leading 1-0 against Union Saint-Gilles, who look like one of the worst teams in the Champions League this year. Monaco are beating Bodo Glimt 1-0 away from home. Juventus are 1-1 with Sporting. Bellingham, good feet, Bellingham. Good save, keeper. Real Madrid, Liverpool 0-0, obviously. Olympiacos are 1-0 up against PSV. PSG are 2-0 down to Bayern, as we know. And Tottenham are beating Copenhagen 1-0. Didn't realise they were playing. Ben Johnson with the goal. Not Ben Johnson. Boris Johnson. Not Boris Johnson. Brennan Johnson. Ben Johnson's a Canadian drug treat. Boris Johnson's a former Prime Minister. And Brennan Johnson is the person who has scored. 1-0 to Spurs. Oh, Vitinha, he did kick him in the head there. I think it was accidental. Just looking at the Spurs lineup. Udogie, Van de Ven, Romero, Porro, Bentancur, Sarr, Simmons, Odegaard, Johnson and Moani. So Jed Spence down to the bench, probably because of what he did at the weekend. Man United play Spurs on Saturday. We've got to win that game. Ooh. Somebody just said, sorry, I missed it. Have you started listening to Christmas music yet? No, I did listen to a brilliant, I love this bit of music. Let me, I can't play it because I'll get a bloody copyright strike, so I'll tell you what it is. I don't think it's a Christmas song. It's called White Winter Hymnal. White Winter Hymnal by the Fleet Foxes. I love it. I love it. I always feel you can only really listen to it in the winter, but I love it. Maybe because it's got the name Winter in it. A little bit of a late tackle like a TK there. I think he booked Hulson for it. Nearly hitting half time here. Bayern crazy good. Kimmich nearly scoring again. They've been so good, Bayern Munich. And people were taking the piss out of everybody else in the Bundesliga, saying, oh, it's a one-horse league. I know it can be, but there are some good teams in the Bundesliga. But you're not going to be able... Nobody can live with Bayern at the moment. I think they've won every single game this season, haven't they, in every competition? Well, they certainly have won every game in the Champions League. They are very, very good at the moment. Kane, look at that. Kimmich. Well, it's mad, actually. It's half-time in the Liverpool-Madrid game, and yet they had about a 5-minute stoppage for the VAR penalty, and we're still playing here in Paris. So we'll come back to the Liverpool game in a minute, but it's half-time in Liverpool, 0-0. And they've played very well, actually, Liverpool, but it's 0-0. Bayern have been amazing. But one goal back for Paris could change things. Hakimi fouled, Diaz booked. Alfie says, can you congratulate my friend Owen from Dover on getting his bird pregnant? She's really excited, but not sure if it's his or his brother's. Alfie. I hope that's banter. In which case, it's good. Yeah, that's definitely a yellow card for Diaz there. Wild tackle. Evan Proctor says Liverpool very unlucky not to have scored. We'll talk about that in a moment. We're just making sure Hakimi's okay here. Oh, God. He's crying. I think Diaz should get a red for that. I think Diaz should get a red for that. He should get a red for that. You know, he's off the ground. It's a scissor tackle. You know, Hakimi. Yeah, I think you've got to get that. To me, that's the definition of a red card. If you're taking another player out, I think that's the definition of a red card for me. It's reckless. It's out of control. I just don't. You don't like to see a player in that way. Look at that. It's all right, Diaz saying sorry, but it was in no way was he ever getting the ball there. Can't put any pressure on his leg. It's going to be a red card review. I think you've got. It's a shame for Bayern because they played really, really well, but you've got to send him off for that. Yeah, that is never getting the ball. I'm sorry. You don't need to be two-footed for a red. It's a scissor tackle, and he's never getting the ball. He's nowhere near the ball. It has to be a red. It's a disgusting tackle, and that's why he's in agony. I don't want to. I think Bayern are a fantastic side. I think Diaz has been a really good signing, but that is nowhere near the ball. It's endangering an opponent. He's probably fucking snapped his ankle. Look at that. He's off the ground. That is the most clear red card you'll ever see. And as I say, I like Diaz and I like Bayern, but that is a scissor tackle. It's off the ground. He's nowhere near the ball. And even if he gets the ball, that is not how you tackle. It's through the back. I'd be stunned if he doesn't give a red for that. It's got absolutely every component. Off the ground, scissor tackle, coming through the back of him. They're the worst tackles in football. People think a two-footer is the worst tackle in football. That is. Yeah, you've got to send him off. Waiting to see what he's going to do. I think Neuer might be the captain. Yeah, red card. Yeah. No, he's right, and Bayern fans are not Bayern players not very happy about it. But it's all right saying it's not a red card. Why don't you go and have a look at Hakimi and realise you've probably just ended his season? I mean, Hakimi's off. Like, if Hakimi came running back on the pitch with a smile on his face, you might think something. But Hakimi might be out for a very long time now. You can't tackle like that. It's a shame for Bayern because if PSG come back, and they might come back, it will be because of that stupid petulance of doing it. But we've all done it. Evan Clayton says, was it a penalty? Well, 50-50 on the handball for Bayern, for Real Madrid. Evan Whelan says Courtois would save the Titanic from sinking. Rudy Flores says, I've got this year's jumper on order. It's stunning. Thank you, pal. So, drama in the Champions League tonight. Horrific tackle by Diaz. Hakimi could be in a situation where his season is over, by the way. Horrible tackle by Luis Diaz. And to be fair, I think the referee's got it spot on in Paris tonight. And it makes it a very interesting second half because Bayern Munich have got a 2-0 lead, but we've seen what PSG can do against 10 men. And but then again, I suppose if you're going to get a player sent off, a winger probably is the one you'd want to go. 2 goals and a red card, says Mad. Yes, my groins are cooked from football. Any advice, says Niall? Get a massage. Okay, so let's have a quick look at... let's go to Liverpool, Real Madrid, because obviously it's only just half-time in Paris, and we'll be coming back to that shortly. But Liverpool 0-0 with Real Madrid. And I've got to say, I think Liverpool have played very, very well, in my opinion. I'm interested to see what the stats are. I mean, look, Real Madrid, one of the best teams in football, blah, blah, blah. And I think Liverpool have given a good account of themselves. Less possession than Real Madrid, 60% to 40%. But look at the shots on target. 4 on target to 2. 9 shots in total to 5. I think Liverpool have edged this and could have had a penalty as well. I think on the penalty, 50-50 in the chat, so fair play. I personally think the referee's given a handball and he's given a free kick. And then VAR has said, you do realise it's in the box, you might want to have a look at it. And then he's backtracked. So I would question, if that had happened to United, I would say, you've seen that in real time and give a handball. So what's changed your mind? Because you thought it was a free kick and not a penalty. And I think that is the only sympathy I would have towards Liverpool would be, he's seen that and given a handball, but he thought it was a free kick. And now it's a penalty. He's changed his mind. So if it's a handball, it's a handball. But in my opinion, there's not a lot Tchouaméni can do. When I think about the Maybury handball against Burnley for Liverpool, that's a penalty. You know, his hand's in a stupid position. He's turned his back. That's a penalty. I think with Tchouaméni, it's hard to see what he's supposed to do with his hands, and his hands are tucked into his body. So, personally, I don't think it should be a penalty, but the referee gave it on the pitch. You can't then change your mind just because you thought it was a free kick and not a penalty. So, I don't think it was, but I think the referee changing his mind is a little bit odd because he's basically changed his mind because it's a penalty and not a free kick. Why didn't you read my last super chat, says Alfie. I did read it. Fucking idiots. We were all laughing at it. Chris Willow says, so the ref went to the monitor to see if the handball was in the box or not and then ended up giving nothing. No. I think he was told it was in the box and it's got to be a penalty, but it didn't look like a handball. You need to review it. I think that's what happened. Yeah, I think that's what happened with that. But no, I think Liverpool have played very well. Real Madrid, to me, look a little bit disjointed. I personally do not like Jude Bellingham on the wing. I think this is a problem that Tuchel's going to face with England. You can't shoehorn good players in. You leave them on the bench. If they don't suit the system, you leave them on the bench. So I think that I personally would go with Rodrigo for more balance. I think Liverpool, defensively, no goals conceded in a game and a half now is fantastic for them. And they've looked quite comfortable at the back. I don't think that's in any small part to do with bringing back somebody like Andy Robertson, by the way. But, you know, very big week for Liverpool. They beat Villa. They're doing very well at half-time against Real Madrid. And they've got Man City on Sunday. Angel Imperious, thank you very much for your super chat. Says, I'm a big fan from the Philippines. I'll ask for a Man United fan like you, which result do you prefer? Arsenal winning the Premier League or Liverpool winning the Champions League? Arsenal Premier League. Liverpool are our biggest rival, so I would rather Arsenal win something. Do you think Man United will play Champions League football next season, says Ankar? I think top 4 will be Liverpool, Arsenal, Man City and Chelsea in whatever order. I think they're just over a 38 game season. It will be them. But 5th place is interesting because Spurs, don't fancy them. Villa, I think with the Europa League will drop points at the end of the season and are dropping points at the start of the season. Brighton, Bournemouth, Sunderland, forget it. And that Newcastle are already dropping too many points. So it is there for Man United, but obviously everyone would say, wow, Man United are really inconsistent. And that's the thing. Can Man United get enough points? Because I think... but I think it's a possibility. I do think it's a possibility. Will Real Madrid make any changes at half-time? Well, we've not really spoken about Xabi Alonso, have we? I mean, I think he was Liverpool's #1 choice to replace Klopp. Obviously, he chose Real Madrid. I'm just not too sure about. I don't have Real Madrid or Barcelona as winning the Champions League this year, and that's a dangerous statement to make. But I don't. I think the winner of the Champions League this year will be either Bayern Munich or an English club. It's me. Thanks for gifting your membership. There's the bizarre news story about Boris Johnson's brother receiving a ton of money for the purchase of Vasta da Gama, says Ramon. Not heard anything about that. What's a first half for Luis Diaz, by the way, in Paris? I've just realised 2 goals and a red card. I mean, you're buzzing your tits off, and then you go and do something stupid like that. And it was stupid. It was really, really stupid. Will Bayern be able to deal with Paris? I don't know. I think 10 men can ruin a game. But Paris are very, very good when it comes to playing against 10 men. So I think it's going to be a very interesting half for Bayern. Very, very, very difficult. Very, very difficult to come back into that game. But there we go. What do you think is the improvement for Liverpool? Stability. I think Robertson and Bradley as the fullbacks have given them some stability. I think McAllister, Gravenberch and Szoboszlai back together is Liverpool's midfield from last year. And then I think the rest of it takes care of itself. I think if you've got a strong back four and a strong midfield, I mean, you wouldn't say that Wirtz, Ekitike and Salah are at full speed at the moment. I'm surprised Gakpo's not starting. But I think the midfield and the defence give them more stability for sure. And, you know, players are coming out for the second half. Kirkez over Robertson, you'd instantly feel weaker, I think. Yeah, so I think we're in for 2 very, very, very interesting second halves here. Liverpool's game's about to start for the second half. In a way, it's quite good that it's on Prime, because then I get to watch PSG Bayern in real time. Tomorrow night, we've got Man City against Dortmund, which I might turn off quickly if Man City win. But I'd love to see Dortmund play well in that game. Home of the Bundesliga on here. Friday Night Football. We always have a live game for you. Highlights on a Thursday. But Bayern had chances to make it 3-0, let's not forget. It's not like it's been a smash and grab. 3-0 to Bayern at half-time would not have been an injustice, and yet they're down to 10 men. They're not kicking off yet. We're just waiting for Real Madrid to start the half. No changes. Look, I don't think it's a bad result if Liverpool draw. Although, we need to have a look at the league table in the Champions League. I don't know. Liverpool have lost to Galatasaray, haven't they? Please do share the video, everybody. We've got nearly 15,000 watching. The home of football on That's Football. Get involved, as always. You're very, very welcome here. Would you take Endrick at Man United? Manchester United, Tariq says yes. Yes, I would. Because I think United need another striker, so why would I not take someone like that? Who's been better? Bayern have been better than PSG and Liverpool have been better than Real Madrid, but it's half-time. What's your go-to order at Greggs, says Langford. Let us know in the chat. My go-to order at Greggs, I haven't had a Greggs in a long, long time. A very, very long time. But I used to have a sausage and bean melt. That was probably the #1 thing I used to go for. But I haven't been in ages. I never have the sausage roll. I always go for the melts or the bakes. Yeah. Would you take Endrick at Man United? Yes, done that. Pally says, my mate Murray supports Hibs in Scotland. Do you think they'll get Europe this season? He also struggles with the ladies. Any tips? As I say, Pally, I used to have a friend called Grant, rest in peace. Died quite young, actually, tragically. I'll always remember on a night out, I've told it to you before, he just had a strategy. I wouldn't say he was, I don't know. I wouldn't say he was like the, he wasn't bloody Rod Stewart, let's put it that way, or Ollie Murs or George Clooney, but he just used, his tactic was, he didn't look at a girl and go, she's my dream girl. He looked at the whole club of girls and went, one of them will do. And basically asked every single one of them until they said yes. Another great save by Courtois. Unreal reactions, says RTH in the chat. From Van Dijk, no doubt about it. He's about, what, 6 yards out? 6 yards out. Free header for Van Dijk. It is sort of straight at the keeper, but the reactions, like you say, anywhere else, and that's a goal, by the way. But the reactions from Courtois to keep it out, incredible. Incredible. He is definitely man of the match tonight. So Pally, my mate Grant, he used to just go and ask every girl in the club to dance or for a drink. And his theory was 99 of them can say no, it only takes one. And another great save from Courtois. I don't think this one was actually going in. I think it was going to hit the bar from Ekitike. But remember Liverpool against Frankfurt? Set pieces. Yeah, I think that one was going to hit the bar. Madrid are on the ropes a little bit here. Another cross. Ekitike! Just wide. Bloody hell. Liverpool on top here, but still 0-0. Why dismiss Spurs? Only 2 of ours getting their team, says Seeking. And It's Me's gifted a membership. Thank you very much for that. Maestro says, shut up, Pally. I'm a Hearts fan. You support Exeter. Hearts are doing great at the moment. FaZe Killer is asking me about somebody I've never heard of here, so I'm just going to Google them. He says, analogy about how useless Josh Fanshawe is, please. I don't know who they are, FaZe. Liverpool Dead Ball FC, says Makel. Salah. Real Madrid have been really poor in this game. And Liverpool have been very good. Diaz red benefits as Arsenal, says Exeter. Yeah, well, he won't play against Arsenal, will he? Diaz. Good point. Cecil says, I'm a neutral, but Liverpool have been the better team. Let me just run through all the other scores in Europe tonight. We know that Bayern Munich and PSG haven't even started for the second half yet. Birmingham are beating Millwall 3-0 in the Championship. Birmingham starting to hit a little bit of form. Middlesbrough losing again, losing to Leicester. They were doing really well. I don't think they've won a game for a couple now. But anyway, in Europe, Atletico Madrid are 1-0 up against Union Saint-Gilles. Monaco is still beating Bodo Glimt 1-0. Juventus and Sporting 1-1. Olympiacos 1-0 up against PSV. And Tottenham are now 2-0 up against Copenhagen. And it's Odegaard with the second goal. Just scored it. So Spurs heading towards another win. Liverpool getting a free kick on the edge of the box here. Bellingham giving it up. Not had a good game, Bellingham. In the UEFA Champions League at the moment, the league table, Bayern Munich, as it stands, are 4 for 4, but they've got a big second half coming up. Arsenal are 4 for 4, 4 wins in a row. Real Madrid are, at the moment, would be 3 wins and a draw in third place. Inter Milan play tomorrow night. They've got 3 wins from 3. PSG, at the moment, are obviously losing. They'd be 3 wins and a loss in 5th place. Tottenham, 2 wins and 2 draws, would be on 8 points. Dortmund play tomorrow, and Liverpool, if they could win this, could go up to 5th place with 9 points. They've got a good free kick position here with Szoboszlai. Man City are on 7. They play tomorrow night as well. Oh, straight at the keeper, but a good free kick. Got it through the wall. Jose Mourinho's Benfica second from bottom with 3 losses from 3. Yeah, we're up and running in Paris now. Yeah, Bayern, still 2-0 Spurs. They just scored. Be interesting. I'm just trying to keep an eye on the Liverpool game, which is very, very good, and the PSG Bayern game, just to see what Bayern are going to do. I think they're going to sit in and invite the pressure. And it could have been 1 goal for PSG there, but it was a good block. Harry Kane wins the free kick. Oh, yeah, very, very quickly, I was going to ask you about the John Lewis advert. It's a famous advert on the UK television every November for a department store that has done many good Christmas adverts. I think they fell off a little bit in recent years. Has anyone seen this year's one? I'm a little bit confused about why the music's 90s dance music and what it's got to do with Christmas. I thought it was a bit shit. Posture check. Yeah, I do need a bit of a stretch. Yeah, stretch it out. That don't impress me much. Oh, you think you're Brad Pitt? That don't impress me. What a knobhead song that is. There's nothing worse than being in a nightclub with that coming on and a load of girls dancing around going, that don't impress me, my fuck off. Hope Lament's potential is like Courtois, says Juan. Yeah, it would be good. Please do subscribe to the channel, by the way. We're about 10 subscribers away from 435,000. Another yellow card for Bayern Munich here. Oh, on John Lewis advert says Sheffield lass, he's reliving his clubbing days before he has family and commitments. Yeah, but I watched it and I thought, Tchouameni's just gone through Szoboszlai there, another free kick for Liverpool. I watched it and found it quite depressing for a Christmas advert because I was like, he's a dad, he's about my age, and he's got a son who's like 20, and then the music comes on and he's in a club dancing and when he's 20, and then suddenly he starts thinking about his kid and everything and gets all sad and depressed. And I was like, so what, why is this good? I was like, why is this good? So, you know, he thinks about his youth and then realises his kids wouldn't be alive. So then he's like, I'm grateful for what I've got. What's that all about? Maybe you should be grateful for what you got anyway. You shouldn't have to go back living in your past. Leave it there. Vinicius Jr. down the left-hand side. A rare attack for Real Madrid. But Liverpool have got the numbers back now. Close header there from Kvaratskhelia. He wanted a corner because he did head it against Kane. It's not been given. Boris Johnson's had a red card. Brennan Johnson's had a red card. You don't understand the ad because your kids are still young, says Daz. One of my kids is at university. I don't understand the ad because I don't understand what it's got to do with being miserable. Oh, his son brought him the record to bring those memories back. Okay, it's going a bit deep in the chat now. Okay, back to the football. I still think a point would be a good result for Liverpool, by the way. I know they're pushing to win this, but I think they can take a lot from tonight if they don't get beat. You know, confidence. I said this on Saturday night when they played Villa. You're not going to get it back in one game. The thing that Liverpool are struggling for is identity and confidence. And the only way you're going to get that back is through doing it, you know, over a few games. They've actually played really good football tonight. better than they played better tonight than they did in the Villa game, and I thought they played well in the Villa game. So that's what I mean about Liverpool. Mbappe goes down here looking for a foul on Van Dijk. He's got the foul. Been very quiet, Mbappe, tonight. I'd love to see Mbappe. You know, I mean, it's not like the same as Messi, but I'd like to see Mbappe play week in, week out in the Prem. How good do you think he'd be if he stuck Mbappe up front for, well, let's say Man City, because we know what a goal machine Haaland is. Do you think he'd outscore Haaland if he played up front for Man City? I think he'd do well. Lovely play by Wirtz. I think Wirtz has looked good tonight. He doesn't look like a £120 million player, though. No draft excluder for Real Madrid's free kick either. Interesting, says Jonathan. Or the lying down one. Josh Fanshaw is the guy who blocked all his mates, says Face Killer. Still don't know who it is. Life Justin says Vicario's done his hamstring and Brennan Johnson red card. Yeah, you don't miss a Champions League. You don't miss a Premier League game because of a red card in the Champions League. But obviously Vicario being injured helps. Alvaro Fernandez went on a really good run there. If he'd have scored that goal as an ex-United player, how did we let him go? It's disgusting. He was at Man United. Fucking crazy. Liverpool on the attack with Salah. Good defending by Real Madrid. God, we've had 15 minutes of the second half already. Man United feel that Lisandro Martinez's recovery may be better served by... Bellingham is in trouble here. What is he doing? I mean, he should have had a yellow card already. I'm surprised that's his first yellow card because he's done 2 tackles like that tonight. Another guy, mentally, just not there, is he? Some of the tackles he's putting in are ridiculous. Goal for Liverpool! It's been coming, and it's McAllister, Alexi McAllister, who gets on the end of the free kick. And you've got to say, in fairness, they've been the better side for about half an hour, and they've got the goal that their pressure deserves. And set pieces, they can't deal with it, Real Madrid. I mean, Liverpool have nearly scored 4 goals from set pieces, and Trent goes to Trent, who looks very, very awkward. But Alexi McAllister with the goal. Cross comes in. Goal. I mean, there might be an element of offside. It's a lovely cross by Szoboszlai. It's a free header. And that one, to be fair, that one's straight at Courtois from further out from Van Dijk, but he just can't get his hands up quick enough. Just shows you that sometimes when people talk about reactions, even if it's straight at a goalkeeper, the reactions weren't quick enough there. He can't do it. McAllister looks like Messi, says somebody there. Carragher will be disgusted with that, says someone in the chat. They are checking for offside. I think the way Liverpool have played tonight, this probably won't get given because they have been a little bit unlucky. But I think he will be onside. It looks like Camavinga on the front post plays him on. And it has been given. 1-0 to Liverpool. I did say all these people writing Liverpool off, that they will be coming back at some point. Deservedly lost 4 games in a row. Deservedly lost to us. But when they start to click, they will get better. And this is, in my opinion, it's down to the midfield and the defence. Szoboszlai, head and shoulders Liverpool's best player this season as well. Spurs are winning 3-0, even though they're down to 10 men. But Jude Bellingham's very lucky to be on the pitch. He's put 2 or 3 silly tackles in. And if I was Alonso, I'd be taking him off. Mbappe trying to do it all on his own here. And referees had to blow up because Wirtz, I think, has caught one in the face. Thoughts on Delo and Amrin being related to... I think it's hilarious. I think it's hilarious. Like great-great-granddad or something like that. Van de Ven just ran the length of the pitch and scored. Let's have a look what happened here. I mean, he does catch Wirtz, but it's just one of those. It's not a... Yeah, he's just trying to get past him and he's caught him. Not a foul. Delo couldn't tie Alvaro's shoes if he tried. Another Ten Hag masterclass. Yeah. Well, it'll be encouraging to Liverpool fans because I think Alexis McAllister this season has been a little bit like Van Dijk and Salah. You know, one of their better players, but he's not had the greatest start to the season. But if they can get McAllister, Gravenberch and Szoboszlai doing what they're doing, they're going to be very, very difficult to deal with this season, Liverpool, because it becomes a very, very good midfield again, doesn't it? Remember, Klopp built that midfield in one summer as well. I can't think of anybody ever doing that. He built that midfield in one summer. McAllister, Gravenberch, and Szoboszlai. Mickey van der Ven has just scored goal of the season, 4-0 to Spurs. Thanks for your super chats tonight. Do that through the $sign if you wish. Nearly 15k watching as well. Tottenham down to 4 men. Tottenham down to 10 men, winning 4-0. Bayern are down to 10 men and are 2-0 here. Roy Keane. Harry Kane has got injured there, but I think he's going to be okay. Bayern looking pretty comfortable at the moment, even with 10 men. I mean, strings to your bow. We can play with 10 men and defend well. I'll have to take a look at this Van der Ven goal. Coventry are winning, apparently. Let's have a look. Yeah, 2-1 against Sheffield United. Derby have just scored 2-1. Birmingham are 4-0 up against Millwall. Blackburn are away, beating Bristol. Leicester still beating Middlesbrough. Ipswich 1-1 with Watford. Stoke 3-0 up against Oxford. Right, have Real Madrid got to bounce back to this? Because I think so far you've got to say very, 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 very impressive performance from Liverpool. As much as I don't want to say it, that's football, and we're here to try and be welcoming to everybody and fair. I do think we've got to see an English winner of the Champions League, though. Best league in the world. We've got to see an English winner of the Champions League. And I tell you what we're noticing as well. I noticed it with Liverpool against Frankfurt. We've seen it with Arsenal a lot as well. We've seen it tonight. You can moan about the overuse of set pieces in the Premier League, but it's really causing problems in Europe as well. Like Liverpool against Frankfurt, scored two, didn't they? Was it Konate and Van Dijk? And tonight, against Real Madrid, nearly every cross into the box, they're winning them all. So Real Madrid have not been able to deal with that either. We could dominate European football with set pieces. PSG are miles ahead of the EPL, says Ads, and yet they can't beat Bayern Munich at home. Rodrigo's come on for Real Madrid and Camavinga's gone off. It's interesting he's kept Jude Bellingham on because I think he's a red card waiting to happen. Van de Ven to be the best centre-back in the Premier League. You know, you do realise he was absolutely shit against Chelsea on Saturday. And although I do think he's a good player, you are playing Copenhagen at home. He's got to be able to do it week in, week out against Premier League clubs to be the best centre-back in the Premier League. Hopefully he'll have a stinker on Saturday lunchtime. Be a confidence booster for Spurs, though. 4-0 at home. Verts. Salah's been quiet tonight. Malachi says, watch Van de Ven goal. It's actually incredible. See if I can get it. Oh, it's such a perfect day. Well, looks like I'm going to get to watch it. Here it is. So he picks it up on the edge of the box. Yeah. Goes past 4. Oh, it's a lovely goal because he shoots. He shoots on the edge of their box and picks it up on the edge of his box. There you go. I'm watching it again. Edge of his own box. Past 2, past 3, past 4. And shoots just inside their box into the near post. Very good goal. He hasn't brought Trent on, has he? No, Trent's just warming up. Bellingham's best Madrid season was as a false 9, says Andrew. Well, I've said this about Real Madrid a few times. Like, the season they won the European Cup last, I looked at that team and I thought they've got Vinicius Jr. and Rodrigo either side of Bellingham. They've got some good young players coming through in the midfield. They could dominate European football for years, and then they go and buy Mbappe and have to break it all down again. And Mbappe's a fantastic player, and maybe in the long term they'll dominate European football again. But I think they gave up that dominance by signing Mbappe. Son's goal or Van der Ven's goal. Also, Arsenal win the league, says Ian. I don't know what Son goal you're talking about, so I can't do it. I know in your head you do. Arsenal will win the league, Ian. I predicted it at the start of the season. It'd be good if PSG could get a goal back here. It'd make it very interesting. But Bayern have defended very, very well. Well, can Real Madrid create a good opportunity against Liverpool? They're on the attack here. Vinicius Jr., who was Vinicius Jr. about 18 months ago was my favourite player in the world. I don't know. I mean, I still think he's a very talented player, but I don't think he's at the level he was. And is that coincidental that it's happened with the introduction of Mbappe into this Real Madrid side? I mean, look, they're a good team, Real Madrid. They're top of their own league. Samsung says, which average pass players would be rated good today? I'm probably a little bit tired for that, mate, to be honest with you. I'd have to sit down and think of what you define as average from the past and who would be good now. A bit of a weird one, actually, because if they were average in the past, why would they be good now? Conor Gallagher's scored for Atletico Madrid, apparently. And Kay Nichols says Brentford would give Madrid a game. Good shot from PSG. Good save by Neuer. They're starting to shoot from distance now. That's over the bar from Kvaratskhelia. So we've still got 15 minutes to go at Anfield, and Liverpool just starting to defend a little bit deeper. Good block. This is the sort of game where you could do with Isak off the bench just to give you a little bit of a pace on the break. Ekatike's looking a bit tired. Harry says, Liverpool's defence has been a big problem this season, yet they have yet to concede against Madrid. Well, they haven't conceded in the last 2 games. If they get through this game, it's 2 clean sheets in a row, isn't it? Just looking at the top 8 there as it stands. There's a few big teams not in it. But Bayern are on the attack here. Into Elise. Good shot straight at the keeper. Good play, though, with 10 men. Another shot straight at Neuer. PSG definitely using the tactic of just shooting from distance instead of trying to break down this, what is effectively a back 5 for Bayern. Liverpool on the attack here. Andy Robertson. Lovely ball into Salah, but he doesn't really have the pace to get there. Good defending by Carreras. He's had a very good game against Salah. I mean, he's one of the bright sparks for Real Madrid tonight. He's played very, very well. Well, if Liverpool get through this, it's on to City at the Etihad on Sunday. And if they can put in a performance there, it would be a pretty big turnaround week for Liverpool. 2-0 against Villa on Saturday. They're 1-0 up here against Real Madrid. And they'll certainly go into that Man City game with more confidence. And would you bet against them getting a result there? Still 10 minutes to go here, though. Double substitution here. Curtis Jones and Gakpo coming on. Just a note about that as well. Bellingham is still on the pitch for Real Madrid. Not had the best of nights. And Trent is still on the bench for Real Madrid as well. Not been brought on. McAllister, the goal difference at the moment. And that pole there. Alexis McAllister coming off and Ekitike coming off. Gakpo and Curtis Jones coming on. Can PSG get a goal back and make this interesting? 45 minutes against 10 men because of a deserved red card for Luis Diaz, who had 2 goals in the first half and topped it off with a red. But Bayern Munich showing that with 11 men, they can score against anyone. And with 10 men, they can shut it out against one of the the best team in the world. Mathematician says we are back. Marquinhos bringing it forward. PSG just having to go side to side here. You can see why they're looking to shoot from distance, because Bayern Munich have just got everybody behind the ball and are sitting in deep. And that, oh, good cross, but good defending by Tar. I think Harry Kane's come off in this game, hasn't he? I didn't actually notice that, but I can't see him on the pitch at the moment. Oh no, he's still there. Still on. Charlton have just scored against West Brom in the 90th minute +6. Big goal there. In Europe, PSG have just scored because it's just come up and I haven't seen it on the screen. That's mad. I've got this on TNT and they hadn't scored, but on my score app, they had the goal before. That's mad. So I am watching it on telly and the score app's got it before. João Neves, 2-1. And there's still 20 minutes to go. The 10 men have finally buckled. And you'd fancy PSG to get back into it now. Have you watched the UFC, Mark, says Pete? I don't do that, no. Good goal by Neves on the back post. Deflected. And good finish. A little bit lucky, actually. He didn't get a clean connection and Neuer got his fingertips to it. But 2-1. I fancy that being a draw. Has he brought Trent on here? Yes, Trent Alexander-Arnold comes on. I haven't got the noise on. He's getting some boos, I think. Or he's getting booed, yeah. The booing is insane, apparently. Oh, don't worry. Rio Ferdinand will put a tweet out saying you shouldn't do it. Prepare for Rio's wrath. I guess you do walk alone, says Alpha. Mark, do you think Madrid made a mistake like Villa in not being more direct like United and Brentford against Liverpool? They struggle against that, says Viborsh. Look, I think this would be a different game in the Bernabeu. You know, I think Real Madrid, Liverpool would be a different game there. You always have to take into account, like when Bayern Munich play Arsenal after the international break, I think that'd be a very difficult game because it'll be at the Emirates. So I think you have to take into account home advantage. But Real Madrid have struggled here. That's not to say they can't get a late equaliser. Imagine if it came from Trent. But in fairness to Alonso, it's probably quite a clever move. You know, last 10 minutes, Liverpool are sitting in. You've got somebody who can put a decent cross in with his right foot. Although, I don't think they've got anybody that can get on the end of it. Andy Robertson up against Trent Alexander-Arnold. That's interesting, isn't it? PSG fans in full force. It's a tough ask for Bayern, this is. I mean, I think they'll just be desperately thinking, can we just grind down another 10 minutes? And even if we concede an equaliser, but to lose the game they were going to win with 11 players. Let's be honest, Bayern in the first half were incredible, but 45 minutes in Paris with 10 men is tough. It's a really tough game, and whatever happens here, if it goes against Bayern, it's going to be on Diaz, isn't it? Is it a bit harsh on Trent, says Amar? As I said before, when they booed him at the end of last season, you can't walk in somebody else's shoes. It's Liverpool's. I didn't like it when Rio Ferdinand says, you know, Liverpool fans shouldn't be booing him because he's not an ex-Liverpool player. He's not a Liverpool fan. It's up to Liverpool fans what they do. And I think they felt they'd been lied to, didn't they, I think? Rodrigo into the box, cuts it back. No one's there. Neuer's just made a massive save as well. Really hanging on here. And I'll tell you what, Bayern, that clock is moving slow. Do I think Barca can win the Champions League? No. I don't. I think Barcelona are a brilliant team to watch, but I don't think they're ready for the Champions League. Wild shot by Ramos for PSG over the bar. And Liverpool fans cheering Bradley's barge, an obstruction on Vinicius Jr. like a goal. As Chiesa warms up. Thanks everyone for tuning in tonight. Remember, tomorrow night it's Man City Dortmund. And Sunday it's Man City Liverpool. Big week of football on That's Football. Make sure you subscribe and get involved. Two good games tonight. That's football though, isn't it? That's the name of the channel, and that's football in general. Like, you know, Bayern Munich on top of the world, looking like one of the best teams in the world, cruising against the best team in the world, PSG, and then lose a player at half-time to a red card. Salah, good block. Courtois will catch. And now Paris are all over them. H says, technically Chelsea are the best team in the world. No, they're not. No one respects that, mate. You can't be the best team in the world in a tournament that the best teams in the world aren't in. Barcelona weren't in it. Liverpool weren't in it. Napoli weren't in it. And Arsenal weren't in it. So you can't, Club World Cup can't claim to be the best team in the world when you don't have the best teams in the world in it. Fair play to Chelsea for winning a tournament that they entered, but you can't be the best team in the world. What do we got? Still got a few minutes left at Anfield. Although Real Madrid really don't look like they're going to do it. Oh, I thought he'd scored. Neves again. Where's João Neves getting this Aguero-like positioning? He gets on the end of a header. Neuer thinks it's in. I thought it was in. That is close. Skims the post. Well, I'll tell you what, João Neves is handy in the box, isn't he? Very handy in the box. Please do subscribe to the channel, by the way. We're on 434,980, so 20 away. Please do subscribe, get involved. You're welcome on That's Football. Daily content on here. I will be doing a match reaction after this. Kirke's just going into a 50-50 there with Tchouameni, but it's not a foul really. He's just a little bit late. Nothing terrible. Kirke's is down though. I don't think they'll do it, but I think if Bayern Munich do hold on here, it would be huge feather in the cap of their defence. Where's Rudiger? Is he injured? Is Rudiger injured? I don't even know if Rudiger's the same player anymore. I mean, there was a time when he was just massive for Real Madrid as well, wasn't he? Yeah, he's injured at the moment, says Greg. Valverde off for Diaz. It's all going off a little bit in Paris. Doctor says, Liverpool with that set piece were so lucky. Real Madrid on the attack. 5 minutes added on. Somebody said PSG red card. They haven't had a red card. PSV, be very careful with this because PSG are trying to get an equaliser. PSV have just equalised late against Olympiacos in Greece. Leicester have conceded an equaliser against Middlesbrough. We're down to 10 men. And it's finished the draw. Bradley's had Vinicius Jr. on locks. I think Carreras has had Salah on locks as well. Some good performances tonight. 5 minutes added on. Let's have a look at the stats. Be interested to look at the second half. Good shot straight at Neuer though. He's read with that one well. Let's have a look here. 17 shots for Liverpool to Real Madrid's 8. 9 shots on target to Real Madrid's 2. I mean, look, forget the possession. That's a very, very impressive performance from Liverpool tonight against, you know, one of the best teams in the world. They've been very, very good. Defensive, all round they've been very good, really. I mean, I'd say the only area that you'd look at Liverpool and say they haven't been that great is the front three. I don't think Wirtz, Salah and Ekitike have looked particularly potent, but their midfield and their defence has been very, very good. Yeah, BBA says, look at the stats. Liverpool have been better, not lucky. Look at Canate bringing it out from the back. And Liverpool could get on a break here. It's Gakpo. They've got runners. Chiesa's not going to get onto that, though. Tamim says, a bit nervy with Curtis Jones and Kirkez on the pitch. Yeah, I mean, but yeah. I think Robertson is such an important player for Liverpool. They're not ready to... They're not ready for him to be out their first team yet. Harry Kane's coming off with Goretzka. Still quite a while to go in that one. They're not even at the 90th minute yet. Yeah, Robertson came off in the 88th minute. Yeah, they're not ready to make that transition yet. Frustrating night for Xavi Alonso and Real Madrid. Liverpool needed it really though, didn't they? Champions League form-wise, as things stand, they got up to 6th with 3 wins and a loss. They needed the win. Puts them level with Real Madrid. So it's difficult here keeping an eye on 2 games as it closes down. I think Liverpool should be about there now. We're into the 95th minute and he blows the whistle and it's a win for Liverpool. 1-0, thoroughly deserved. I don't think Real Madrid can have any complaints. I really, really don't. Let's pause that while it's on the screen. Yeah, I don't think they can have any complaints at all. PSG just shooting wide with Kang in. Yeah, I don't think they can have any complaints tonight. I think it's been a very, very strong Liverpool performance to build on the Aston Villa result. And we're just seeing out the PSG Bayern Munich game here. And but yeah, good result for Liverpool. I'll do a match reaction on that one actually. It's a shame I can't do it while I'm still live here. Courtois, man of the match for Real Madrid. Probably a fair point from Alpha United as well. We are back tomorrow for Man City against Dortmund tomorrow night, 8 o'clock. So join us for that. This is going to be a very good result for Bayern Munich. However, unless PSG get 2 goals, this is going to be a very good result for Bayern Munich. Even if it's a draw. I mean, the win is incredible. They were brilliant in the first half. Diaz gets sent off. Defensively in the second half, they've worked very, very hard. But PSG are still pushing here. 5 minutes to go. I like PSG, and a draw wouldn't be a bad result for either side. But I do feel that the purists probably, and I feel myself, I am a purist, would say it's harsh on Bayern, but that's football in the sense that the red card was justified. And therefore PSG have a right to play against 10 men. And if they get an equaliser, then so be it. I also feel so bad for Hakimi. I hope that's not a bad injury for Hakimi, because I know people can get, you look at the Donnarumma one. I mean, it's interesting, isn't it? Donnarumma of PSG did that to Musiala in the summer. And then here we are a few months later and Diaz does that to Hakimi. It's almost 1-1, isn't it? But it doesn't work like that. Okay, I'm ending the stream. There's Kimmich is there doing bloody stretches now. I'm not gonna wait around. I'm gonna go and do my match reaction. Thanks everybody for watching. I'm gonna go and record a match reaction for the Liverpool game now. Take care, everybody. I'll speak to you all in a bit.